Welcome back, Coinology. When people hear the words 1 cent coin, most of them immediately think of something small, ordinary, almost worthless, a piece of copper they ignore in their pockets or jars. But sometimes a single penny can open the door to an entire universe of history, mystery, controversy, collector passion, and unbelievable rumors of wealth. The 2018 1 cent coin is one of those coins that has quietly built a powerful story around itself. On the surface, it looks like a normal modern Lincoln cent, but once you slow down, once you really look at it, once you understand how coins are made, how errors happen, how mint marks matter, and how collector psychology works, you begin to understand why some people whisper about values reaching into millions of dollars, why dramatic numbers like $93 million circulate online, and why the conversation around this coin refuses to die. The year 2018 places this penny firmly in the modern era of U.S. coinage. By this time, the Lincoln cent had already passed its 109th year of production. It was no longer made of solid copper as it once was in the early and mid-20th century. Instead, the composition had changed decades earlier. The 2018 cent is made primarily of zinc, about 97.5% zinc, coated with a thin layer of copper, roughly 2.5%. This change in metal is important because it affects weight, sound, durability, and the way errors appear. The official weight of a 2018 Lincoln cent is approximately 2.5 grams. That number seems simple, but collectors know that even a tiny variation in weight can hint at something unusual, such as an incomplete plating, a wrong planchet, or a manufacturing defect that could multiply the coin's value many times over. The D mint mark on the 2018 D penny tells us it was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is one of the most important minting facilities in the United States, known for producing massive quantities of coins every single year. In 2018, the Denver Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents. That fact alone leads many people to say, how could this coin ever be valuable if there are so many of them? And that is a fair question. In normal condition, a standard 2018 D penny, pulled from circulation, is usually worth exactly 1 cent. Even uncirculated examples often trade for just a small premium, maybe a few cents to $1. But the real story does not live in the average coin. The real story lives in the exceptions, the rare survivors, the mistakes, the anomalies, and the stories collectors tell themselves and each other. The design of the 2018 D Lincoln cent continues a tradition that began in 1909, when President Abraham Lincoln first appeared on a U.S. circulating coin. On the obverse, or front side, you see Lincoln's right-facing portrait, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. Over the decades, this portrait has been modified slightly, but the spirit remains the same. The word liberty appears to the left of Lincoln's portrait, while the phrase "In God We Trust" arcs across the top. The date 2018 is positioned to the right, with the small D mint mark just below the date. For collectors, the position, shape, and clarity of that mint mark matter. A weak, filled, or oddly shaped D can be a clue that something went wrong during striking. On the reverse side, the 2018 D penny features the Union Shield design, which was introduced in 2010. This shield symbolizes Lincoln's preservation of the United States during the Civil War. 13 vertical stripes represent the original 13 states, all bound together by a horizontal bar at the top. Above the shield are the words United States of America, and below it the denomination 1 cent. The motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is placed across the shield. To many people, this is just a modern design, but to collectors it represents continuity, symbolism, and a modern chapter in a very long story. And now, when people start talking about enormous values, such as claims that a 2018 D penny is worth $93 million, it is crucial to understand where such numbers come from. In most cases, these figures are not based on confirmed public auction results for normal coins. Instead, they usually grow out of rumors, misunderstood listings, misprints in online marketplaces, clickbait headlines, or hypothetical scenarios involving extremely rare errors. In the world of coin collecting, there is a massive difference between a regular issue coin and a one-of-a-kind mint error. A standard 2018 D penny is common. A unique error, however, especially one involving the wrong metal, a double strike, a major die error, or a dramatic off-center strike, can be extraordinarily rare. Collectors have long been fascinated by error coins. These are coins that escape the minting process with something noticeably wrong. Examples include double dies, where parts of the design appear doubled because of a misaligned die, off-center strikes, where the design is not centered on the coin, broad strikes, where the coin spreads out wider than normal, and wrong planchet errors, where a coin is struck on a metal disc intended for a different denomination. Imagine a Lincoln cent struck on a planchet meant for a dime, or even for a foreign coin. Such errors are rare, and when authenticated by professional grading services, they can sell for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. In extreme, unique cases involving historically significant errors, values can climb much higher. The idea of a $93 million value is usually tied to the fantasy of a perfect storm, a one-of-a-kind error, in flawless condition, with ironclad authentication, discovered at the right moment, and sold to a billionaire collector who simply must have it. While such scenarios make for exciting stories and powerful YouTube thumbnails, they are not the everyday reality of the market. However, the reason these stories persist is because, throughout history, coins that once seemed ordinary have later sold for astonishing sums. The 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die cent, and the 1974 aluminum cent are famous examples that fuel the imagination of modern collectors. The 2018 D penny exists in that space between reality and imagination. On one hand, billions were made. On the other hand, not every single coin was perfect. Somewhere among those billions, there are errors. Some are minor and worth only a small premium. Others are dramatic and can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. The challenge is finding them, recognizing them, and proving their authenticity. This is why collectors weigh coins, examine them under magnification, and compare them to known standards. A 2018 D penny that weighs significantly more or less than 2.5 grams immediately raises questions. Is the copper plating thicker than normal? Is it missing in places? Is it struck on the wrong planchet? Each question opens another door. The market value of any coin is not fixed. It is shaped by supply, demand, condition, rarity, and story. In the case of the 2018 D penny, the general market value remains low for normal examples. But the speculative market, driven by social media, YouTube videos, and online listings, often tells a different story. People see a listing with an astronomical price and assume it represents real value. In truth, anyone can list a coin for any price. What matters is what buyers are actually willing to pay, and what has been documented through completed sales. History also plays a role. Even though the 2018 D penny is modern, it carries the weight of more than a century of Lincoln cent history. It represents a time when cash usage was already declining, when digital payments were rising, and when debates about eliminating the penny entirely were becoming louder. Some collectors believe that if the US ever stops producing the 1-cent coin, modern pennies like the 2018 D could gain nostalgic or historical significance in the future. That belief, whether true or not, influences how people think about long-term value. Another factor is condition. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from heavily worn to perfect mint state. A flawless, uncirculated 2018 D penny with strong luster, no spots, and sharp details is far more desirable than one that has been scratched, corroded, or discolored. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC assign numerical grades that help standardize value. Even then, the difference between a high-grade common coin and a truly rare coin is enormous. When you hold a 2018 D penny in your hand, you are holding more than just a cent. You are holding a product of industrial precision, human error, national symbolism, and collector imagination. You are holding a coin that some people ignore, some people hoard by the roll, and some people examine under microscopes, hoping to find something extraordinary. The stories of massive values, whether realistic or exaggerated, keep people searching. They keep jars of pennies from being dumped into machines. They keep curiosity alive. This is why the conversation around the 2018 D penny continues. It is not just about what the coin is worth today in average condition. It is about what it could be worth if it is different, if it is rare, if it tells a unique story. It is about the dream that somewhere, hidden in plain sight, there is a tiny copper-colored coin that defies expectations and changes someone's life forever. And that dream, more than metal or numbers, is what truly gives the 2018 D 1-cent coin its power. As collectors dig deeper into the 2018 D 1-cent coin, the discussion naturally moves beyond basic specifications and into the hidden world of minting processes, microscopic details, and the psychology of rarity. Every single coin begins its life as a blank metal disc called a planchet. For the Lincoln cent in 2018, these planchets were zinc cores plated with copper, produced in enormous quantities before being shipped to the Denver Mint. The speed at which modern mints operate is astonishing. Hundreds of coins can be struck every minute by a single press. When machines run that fast, tiny imperfections can slip through. Most of them are caught and destroyed, but a few escape into circulation, and those few are what collectors dream about. One of the most talked about possibilities with modern pennies like the 2018 D is the idea of transitional or wrong metal errors. Even though the US Mint has used zinc planchets for decades, there are still rare cases where a coin is struck on an incorrect blank. This could be a leftover planchet from another denomination, or even an experimental or foreign planchet that somehow entered the production line. If a genuine 2018 D Lincoln cent were discovered struck on a completely wrong metal, especially something dramatic like silver, aluminum, or a thicker copper planchet, it would instantly become one of the most famous modern error coins. The value of such a coin would not be measured in cents or even hundreds of dollars, but potentially in hundreds of thousands or more, depending on uniqueness and condition. The reason numbers like $93 million get mentioned is because collectors and storytellers often look at the most extreme examples in coin history. There are coins that have sold for tens of millions of dollars, such as the 1933 Double Eagle gold coin. When people apply that kind of thinking to a penny, they imagine a scenario where a one-of-a-kind modern error, never supposed to exist, surfaces and becomes a legend. While that level of value is extremely unlikely for a 2018 D cent, the mere possibility fuels endless discussion. In the world of collecting, hope and imagination are powerful forces. Another angle collectors examine is die errors. Dies are the engraved metal tools that strike the design onto blank planchets. Over time, dies wear out, crack, or become damaged. A cracked die can leave raised lines on a coin. A die chip can create blobs of metal where there should be detail. In some cases, dies can become misaligned, creating doubled or distorted images. A dramatic doubled die on a 2018 D penny, clearly visible to the naked eye and confirmed by experts, would be a major discovery. While minor doubling is common and usually worthless, true doubled dies are rare and highly sought after. Weight analysis is another obsession among serious collectors. The standard weight of 2.5 grams becomes a reference point. A coin weighing significantly more might suggest a thicker planchet or extra plating. A coin weighing less could indicate missing metal or an incomplete strike. Collectors often use digital scales that measure down to hundredths of a gram. When a 2018 D penny shows an unusual weight, it becomes a candidate for deeper investigation. Combined with visual inspection, weight can help confirm whether a coin is truly different or just damaged. Condition also plays a dramatic role in perceived value. Most pennies enter circulation immediately and suffer wear almost instantly. But some coins are set aside right at the moment of release, preserved in rolls, bags, or mint sets. A perfectly preserved 2018 D penny with blazing red color, strong luster, and no spots represents the highest standard of modern scent preservation. While such coins are not rare in absolute terms, they are still desirable to collectors who aim to build complete, high-grade sets. Over time, as fewer pristine examples remain, even modern coins can see gradual increases in value. The marketplace itself is another fascinating part of the story. Online platforms have changed how people view coin values. A single dramatic listing can go viral, convincing thousands of viewers that a particular coin is worth a fortune. In reality, asking prices are not selling prices. However, perception matters. When enough people believe a coin might be valuable, they begin searching for it, saving it, and talking about it. This collective attention can actually increase demand for certain varieties or error types, which in turn can raise real prices for authenticated examples. The 2018 D penny also exists at a time when debates about the future of the 1-cent coin are louder than ever. The cost of producing a penny has exceeded its face value for years. Many economists and policymakers argue that the penny should be eliminated entirely. If that were to happen, the final years of penny production could take on special significance. Coins like the 2018 D would then represent the late stage of an American tradition stretching back over 2 centuries. Historical context often adds emotional value, which can translate into market value over long periods. Collectors often say that coins are storytellers. A worn penny tells the story of countless hands, transactions, and moments in everyday life. An uncirculated penny tells the story of preservation and intention. An error coin tells the story of a machine's mistake and a human's discovery. The 2018 D penny, despite being modern and common, has the potential to tell all of these stories, depending on the specific example in question. This is why people continue to check their change, why they watch long videos analyzing tiny details, and why they dream about finding something extraordinary. Even if 99.9% of 2018 D pennies are worth only 1 cent, the remaining fraction keeps hope alive. The idea that a life-changing discovery could be hiding in plain sight is irresistible. And as long as that idea exists, the 2018 D 1-cent coin will continue to be discussed, examined, and imagined as something far greater than its face value. When the conversation moves even deeper, the 2018 D 1-cent coin becomes less about metal and more about human behavior, belief, and the powerful role of stories in the coin collecting world. Collectors do not just collect objects, they collect meaning. Every rumor, every headline claiming unbelievable value, every viral video adds another layer to the identity of this small coin. Over time, these layers can become almost as important as the physical characteristics themselves. One of the most important aspects to understand is authentication. In the modern coin market, no extraordinary claim is taken seriously without professional verification. If someone truly believes they have a 2018 D penny worth a fortune, the first step is not selling it online with a dramatic title, but submitting it to a respected grading and authentication service. These organizations examine the coin under high magnification, analyze its metal composition, measure its weight and dimensions, and compare it to known standards. Only after passing this process can a coin be officially recognized as a genuine error or rare variety. Without that plastic holder and official label, even the most unusual-looking coin is just a curiosity. The emotional journey of a collector searching for rare pennies is intense. Imagine the moment someone notices something slightly different about a 2018 D penny. Maybe the color looks off. Maybe the weight feels wrong. Maybe the design appears doubled. That moment sparks excitement, followed by hours of research, comparison, and sometimes disappointment. Most of the time, the difference turns out to be damage or a common mint effect. But occasionally, it is something real. Those rare successes keep people searching year after year. Another layer to the 2018 penny story is generational collecting. Older collectors often focus on classic coins from the early and mid-1900s. Younger collectors, however, are growing up in a digital world where modern coins are more accessible and information spreads instantly. For them, the idea that a coin from their own lifetime could be incredibly valuable is especially appealing. The 2018 penny fits perfectly into this mindset. It is recent, familiar, and still circulating, which makes the hunt feel achievable. There is also the influence of hoarding and mass saving. When rumors of high value spread, people begin saving large quantities of the same coin. Rolls of 2018 pennies are set aside, unopened, in the hope that one day they might contain a rare error or become valuable simply due to age and scarcity. While mass saving can actually reduce future rarity, it also ensures that high-quality examples survive. Decades from now, these saved coins may tell the story of a time when people believed strongly in the hidden potential of everyday money. Market psychology plays a huge role in shaping perceived value. If enough collectors decide that a specific year or mint mark is special, prices can rise even without extreme rarity. This has happened many times in coin history. The belief itself creates demand. The 2018 penny has benefited from this effect, especially online, where dramatic claims spread faster than careful analysis. Over time, the market tends to correct itself, but the stories never fully disappear. The symbolism of the Lincoln cent adds even more depth. Abraham Lincoln represents unity, perseverance, and moral strength in American culture. His image on the penny connects even the smallest denomination to some of the biggest ideas in history. The Union shield on the reverse reinforces this symbolism, emphasizing strength through unity. For some collectors, this symbolic weight adds to the appeal of owning and studying Lincoln cents from every era, including modern issues like the 2018 Another interesting angle is the global perspective. American coins are collected all over the world. In many countries, a U.S. penny is an exotic object, a piece of American culture. Stories of incredibly valuable pennies capture international attention, bringing in collectors and speculators from far beyond U.S. borders. This global interest can amplify hype and, in rare cases, contribute to higher prices for authenticated rarities. The question of future value always hangs in the air. Will the 2018 penny ever truly be worth millions? For the vast majority of examples, the answer is almost certainly no. But value in collecting is not only about averages. It is about outliers. History shows that outliers exist. Coins that were once ignored have later become legendary. This historical pattern is what fuels ongoing belief in the potential of modern coins. Even if a 2018 penny never reaches the extreme value some people imagine, it still serves an important role. It introduces new collectors to the hobby. It teaches people to observe closely, to research, to question claims, and to understand how markets work. In that sense, the true value of the 2018 penny may not be monetary at all, but educational and cultural. As long as people continue to dream about finding something extraordinary in ordinary places, the story of the 2018 1-cent coin will continue. It will remain a symbol of possibility, curiosity, and the enduring human fascination with hidden treasure. And in that ongoing story, every single penny, no matter how common, carries the potential to inspire wonder. When the story stretches even further, the 2018 1-cent coin begins to reflect not just the world of collectors, but the broader relationship between money and society itself. Coins are among the few objects that pass through nearly every hand, crossing boundaries of class, age, and geography. The fact that something so universal could also be the subject of intense scrutiny and extraordinary dreams makes the penny uniquely powerful. The 2018 penny sits at this crossroads between everyday life and extraordinary possibility. One important detail often overlooked is the role of production numbers. In 2018, the Denver Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents, meaning the coin was never intended to be rare. However, rarity in numismatics is not always about how many were made, but how many survive in a specific form. A normal circulated coin is common, but a coin with a specific error, in pristine condition, with full documentation, can be extremely rare even if the base coin is common. This is why collectors do not think in simple terms of many or few, but in terms of specific varieties and conditions. Another fascinating aspect is the technology used to examine coins today. High-resolution digital microscopes, X-ray fluorescence testing, and precision scales allow collectors and experts to analyze coins in ways that were impossible in the past. With these tools, a 2018 penny can be examined down to the smallest detail. The exact composition of the metal can be measured without damaging the coin. This level of analysis makes it harder for fake or altered coins to fool experts, but it also allows genuine rarities to be confirmed with confidence. As technology improves, our understanding of modern coinage continues to deepen. The rumor-driven side of the market also deserves attention. Stories of extreme values often spread faster than corrections. A single exaggerated claim can be repeated across hundreds of videos and articles, slowly becoming accepted as fact by casual viewers.
The 2018 penny has been part of this phenomenon. Numbers like $93 million capture attention because they are shocking. They turn a humble penny into a symbol of hidden fortune. Even when such numbers are unrealistic, they serve a purpose. They pull people into learning about coins, errors, grading, and history from an economic perspective. The penny itself is controversial. It costs more to produce than it is worth, which raises questions about efficiency and tradition. The 2018 penny represents a time when this debate was already intense. Some collectors believe that coins from periods of controversy gain additional historical interest. If the penny is eventually discontinued, modern issues like the 2018 could be seen as artifacts from the final chapter of an era. That possibility adds another layer of long-term intrigue. The emotional attachment people form with coins should not be underestimated. Many collectors remember sorting through pennies as children, learning dates, and mint marks from parents or grandparents. Finding a 2018 penny years later can trigger memories of a time when the world felt simpler. This emotional connection often influences what people are willing to pay, especially for coins that represent personal or cultural milestones. There is also the concept of storytelling through ownership. Owning a coin is not just about having an object, it is about having a story to tell. A 2018 penny with a unique error, even a minor one, becomes a conversation piece. It invites questions and explanations. It connects the owner to a broader community of collectors who share knowledge, experiences, and excitement. This social aspect of collecting is a major reason the hobby endures. As time moves forward, today's modern coins become tomorrow's historical artifacts. The 2018 penny will one day be viewed as a piece of early 21st century history. The design, composition, and production methods reflect the technology and values of its time. Future collectors may study these coins to understand how money was made and used during this period. In that future context, even common coins gain meaning beyond their face value. Ultimately, the story of the 2018 1-cent coin is not finished. It is still being written every time someone checks their change, watches a video, or shares a story about a surprising discovery. Whether or not the coin ever reaches the extreme value some imagine, it has already achieved something remarkable. It has captured attention, sparked curiosity, and reminded people that even the smallest things can hold big stories. And that enduring fascination ensures that the 2018 penny will continue to be talked about, examined, and remembered for years to come. As the journey reaches its final stretch, the 2018 1-cent coin stands as a mirror reflecting human curiosity, patience, and the timeless desire to discover value where others see nothing. This small coin, light in weight and modest in appearance, carries with it the full weight of a nation's minting tradition, modern industrial power, and countless personal hopes. It reminds us that money is not just a tool for buying and selling, but a record of time, decisions, and belief. The search for meaning in the 2018 penny teaches an important lesson. True rarity is not loud. It does not announce itself. It hides quietly among the ordinary. Millions of people may pass the same type of coin through their hands, never giving it a second glance, while one person pauses, looks closer, and asks questions. That moment of curiosity is where collecting truly begins. Whether the outcome is disappointment or discovery, the act of looking transforms the coin from an object into an experience. The idea of enormous value, even figures as dramatic as $93 million, should be understood as symbols rather than promises. They represent the ultimate dream of the collector, that the smallest, most ignored piece of metal could turn into something extraordinary. History proves that surprises do happen, though rarely in the exact way people expect. What matters more than the number itself is the spark it creates, pushing people to learn, research, and engage with history in a hands-on way. Every genuine collector eventually realizes that value has layers. There is face value, which is simple and fixed. There is market value, which rises and falls with demand, condition, and rarity. And then there is personal value, which can be far greater than any price tag. A penny found in a pocket, inherited from a relative, or discovered during a quiet moment of searching can carry emotional weight that no auction result can measure. The 2018 penny, like all coins, lives at the intersection of these values. Time is the final judge. Decades from now, the world will look back on the coins of 2018 as products of a specific era, shaped by technology, economics, and culture. The debates about the penny's usefulness, the shift toward digital money, and the changing habits of everyday transactions will all be part of the historical backdrop. In that future, the 2018 penny will speak silently of how things once were. In the end, the true power of the 2018 1-cent coin is not found in guaranteed riches or viral headlines. It is found in possibility. It is found in the simple act of paying attention. It is found in the reminder that history is not only written in books and monuments, but also stamped into the smallest objects we touch every day. A single penny can open the door to knowledge, patience, and wonder. So the next time a 2018 penny rests in your hand, remember that you are holding more than 1 cent. You are holding a story that connects past, present, and future. You are holding proof that even in a fast-moving world, there is still room for slow discovery. And whether that coin remains worth exactly 1 cent or becomes something far more meaningful to you, its greatest value may already be realized the moment you chose to look closer.